Hello again. Let's introduce another new concept in ActionScript that we haven't covered before, how to work with the keyboard. Working with the keyboard in ActionScript can be daunting for a lot of new people. You have to understand how the keyboard works, and there are certain character codes and key codes that are associated with all the different letters and characters or keys that are on the actual physical keyboard. Using the code snippets takes a lot of the pain out of learning all the different key codes and aspects of working with the keyboard. So let's just apply a sample code snippet and show you how this works. In this case, the actual action that we're working with is in the animations section of the code snippets panel. We want to move an object with the keyboard arrows, which you'll see is the first option inside of this category. I have the object selected, so let's go ahead and add that particular code. You'll see that the code is added into the actions panel. Let's take a look and walk through each of the lines of code, and I'll explain what's going on. You'll see that we are adding a new event listener to the stage. This time we're working with an event known as the keyboard event. The keyboard event has a property known as key down, and we're executing an event handler based on when this event is fired. That event is looking for a keyboard event, very similar to when we work with a mouse event, but in this case it's not a mouse, it's the keyboard, so we're working with a keyboard event. And then we're working with this new construct called a switch. A switch is a conditional. It's very similar to an if statement like we've covered in the past. The switch statement has an object at the top that's going to be used as a case. It's going to look for the value called event.keycode. This is a value that's provided by the keyboard that has a specific number for each key on the keyboard. In ActionScript, every key has a certain number. In this case, we're working with the up, down, left, and right. So the key code is going to be mapped to these objects, up, down, left, and right. Luckily, since we're working with the code snippet, we don't have to understand all the intricacies of how this is actually coded to the key code and all the numbers and values there. It's just created for us here, so we can modify the code to get a desired result. Let's go ahead and run this, and I'll just show you what we have right out of the box. So I've run the project, and now if I'm pressing the keyboard arrows on my keyboard here, and you'll see that I'm moving the object around. I'm pressing left, I'm pressing up, now down, and now right. If I want to modify the functionality of this, you'll see that there are, again, instructions like any other code snippet where I can modify the distance that the object moves with each key press. I can modify this and say I want to move it 10 pixels, not 5. Do this with all the other ones. And something that the comments are very helpful about is it says that you'll notice that the number 5 appears 4 times in the code below. So the comments and the instructions are pretty clear as to what you need to do. Let's go ahead and run this again. Now you'll see that the object is moving around a lot faster with each key I press. So even though we don't necessarily understand all the intricacies of working with the keyboard, the code snippets allow us to take basic functionality that we all want to have on our projects and can put it inside of the project. Now that we have a basic understanding of all the ActionScript that starts this off, you can then explore the documentation and experiment and learn more now that you understand the basics of how this works. If you want to learn more about code snippets and other features of Flash Professional CS5, check out the Developer Center or check out the other video tutorials on Adobe TV.